What's up, traders? This is Matt with Conservative Trades, ending the day up $177.78. Today was a great day in the markets. We ended up experiencing a good bit of volatility. It was a little boring at some moments throughout the day. We're pretty much just in a point of consolidation right now, I think, especially if you look here on the S&P 500. Or we'll pull up the the S&P ETF. We've just kind of been having this back and forth momentum all day. I mean, we had a little bit of craziness here, but as it kind of broke into the afternoon, we made a little bit of a pullback, but then it came down, and then it got bought up, and then it came down and got bought up a little, came down, and then here towards the end of the day, of course, we've experienced a little more volatility, and that's kind of where it ramped up. So all that to say, obviously this morning, right out the gates, it was pretty good to the upside, and then we had some good momentum to the downside. But still yet, if you zoom out on a daily chart, you can see it's really not as much as you think it would be. It's really not as telling on the daily chart about what's happening. I mean, today was just, one of those days where I pretty much expected I expected us to maybe find a lower or a lower low on the daily, and we did. We came down here almost to the 9 EMA, but then got bought back up. And it's very possible that here over the next couple of days and even through the rest of the week, we may just experience a little bit of back and forth consolidation. Right now, the bulls are still in control. The bears really haven't proven anything to us. But the thing is, when you're trading in days like this, you just need to be very, very careful about what kind of trades you're going to be taking, whether to the short side, the long side. And, so I watch the SPY very closely. As a matter of fact, I've got a screen here. I'll try to, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so there we go. So here you can see my three charts. This is up on another monitor. It's a widescreen monitor, so not all of it fits into it, as you can see right here. So there's a little bit of the SPY chart you're not going to be able to see, and then over here there's a little bit of the XLF financial, the financial sector that I watch, but I pretty much will keep up. Sometimes I'll either have trading view up here, and I'll be kind of switching back between the different markets, and then sometimes I'll have it up here to where I can watch the financial sector, the tech sector, and the SPY pretty much all at the same time. And depending on the variances that you see or the divergence that you see from one sector to another, sometimes one sector could be lagging while the other ones are doing well. As a matter of fact, you can look here at the daily chart of the QQQs and just see how different it is from, well, you're not going to be able to see the fullness of the SPY chart, but QQQs have been going up. The tech sector has been on fire. Whereas if you look here, I'll pull the financial sector out here a little bit more. As you look here, we obviously experienced a huge nosedive during the COVID crisis and all that, and it's just kind of been, it got bought up to the 200-day. It's kind of come back. Very, very different from the tech sector, as you can see. Very, very different. We had a little bit of a sell-off during COVID, but it's been pretty much on a bull tear, consistently hitting all-time highs since then. Okay, and so anyway, I just kind of show you guys that because we'll switch back over here to this screen here. I show you that because when I am taking moves like some of the moves that I made on Facebook today, taking pullback moves and whatnot, I'm keeping an eye on the SPY. I'm always keeping an eye on the SPY, but I'm also keeping an eye on QQQ because that seems to be what Facebook follows, which it must be indexed in the tech sector, but today there were definitely some moves that I made, and I want to be able to clarify this pullback strategy because we had some questions going on in the live stream today, and I started thinking to myself, I get it. I can understand why it could be a little confusing to some people because I'm not really spelling out everything that I'm doing here, and the thing is and I'm not, today's video is not going to be about that. I'm not going to sit here and go on a lesson, and I'm not going to explain every single point to you, but what I will say is this is why day trading is an extremely complex field, and it is perhaps the most challenging field to work in on the planet. I mean, pick an industry, pick a trade, pick a job of any kind. I seriously doubt you'll find one quite as challenging as day trading. And it requires a lot of study, a lot of practice, a lot of getting acquainted with how price action works and how these technical indicators work and how things work when comparing them to the broader markets. And, and there's just so much more to it than that. I mean, technical analysis is something that you've got people that have been doing this for 20, 30 plus years, and they're still learning new things. They're still developing technical indicators. They're still, discovering different forms of price movement and based on various chart patterns and that sort of thing. And so you've got some of the most experienced traders in the world right now who are in the kind of market conditions that we've been in, have been developing even newer type strategies. And so, I just say this because if you're new to this channel and if you're new to trading and if you're looking to get into day trading, you are going to have to ultimately find out what works best for you. That's what trading in a simulator does for you. That's why I always tell people, I highly encourage people and listen, by no means am I a professional financial advisor. I'm not. And, look, anything that I say here is just my personal opinion, but I think pretty much every day trader on the planet would agree with me when I say that spending time in a trading simulator for several months on end is something that all of us should be doing before we ever begin our journey on a live broker platform. Okay, and it's in those moments, those hours, that time that you spend in a trading simulator where you can take everything that you've learned about price action and these technical indicators and chart patterns and how it all works, and you can develop a strategy that works for you. And there's going to be a lot of things that you're looking at, and there's going to be different strategies that there might be strategies that work for some day traders out there, but they don't work for you. And that's where it will start to get into the psychology of it, because the trading and finding success in day trading is deeply psychological. It's a deeply mental and psychological process. Okay. And there, and here, I'll just use Ross Cameron as the perfect strategy. Ross Cameron is by and large a long bias trader, and he's really good with these low float, small cap stocks, trading on breakout momentums and even dip buying and stuff like that at the flick of a light. I mean, he is fast. The guy is just on fire. But I tried trading that strategy many, many times, and it just didn't work for me. It just didn't. And it's not that I wasn't able to understand how he was doing it. It's not that I was able to, or that I wasn't able to see, when you take his class and you learn about, how to get in on the breakouts and the things to look for, he's mapping out a generic plan for you. And he's saying, like, this is what I look for. This is where I take my entries. He's teaching you that. But Ross Cameron is so well seasoned and highly polished in his field, and he has been doing this for so long, it's like drinking water to him. And, he's got a lot of money. He's got a huge account. He's trading with a whole different mentality, leaving emotions and everything out of it. Okay, and I found that when I began practicing his strategy in a trading simulator, it was very difficult for me to nail, even in a trading simulator. And then when I tried duplicating it on a live broker platform, I'm not saying that I couldn't have success with it from time to time, but it just wasn't consistent. Okay. And it's not because it doesn't work. It's because with me personally, there are just psychological barriers. Okay. There's things that kind of get in the way of from a more mental and emotional perspective that keep me from being able to trade that strategy as well as he can. Okay. There's several people that can do it though. And we've even got some guys in our live stream that can, they can get in on that type of trading, but for me, it's just not possible. And so when you guys come and you watch me and I'm live trading and, I'm talking about this, you hear me talking about this pullback strategy and I'm making certain entrants and exits. It may not be a strategy that works for you. It may be a strategy that you guys have yourself tried many times before, even in the past. And it may just, it just may not work for you with the type of mindset that you have when it comes to trading. We use all kinds of different just things. We all have a toolbox full of ideas and analytics and just even the way that our own minds individually think and how we are able to calculate things out and how quickly we can calculate things. And I'm telling you, day trading is not easy. And there are going to be, it is such a mental type of thing. And there's going to be, as you get involved in your trading career, you're going to come to find out that there are just certain things about you as an individual where certain strategies are just going to work better. And someone, we had someone in the live stream that pretty much nailed it today when he said that. He said, you've got to find what strategies work personally for you. And you may not be able to translate that well, to others all the time. But I think what I will do probably one day is I probably will come out with some. I mean, who knows? I might write a book. I might come out with some educational material. I might just do a video. It might just be a simple video where I really break down all the ins and outs of my strategy, and I can take you through it and show you, bit by bit, how this strategy is mapped out. Just kind of give it a generic map out, kind of like what Ross Cameron has done with his particular trading strategy, and like a lot of these other day trading gurus out there have done. It's like I said today in the live stream, there is a method to my madness when it comes to this sort of thing. But we had a really good day today, and I'm not going to go through every single stock here. Facebook, I was actually doing very well on today and was up over 150 bucks on it at one point. But it was trading very, it started to move it was just very hard to read. We'll just kind of put it like that. And the market, I noticed, had these phenomenal buy-up moments all throughout the day. You can look here at the tech sector. There was all of a sudden just this huge buy-up right here. And then even back here, there was all of a sudden this huge buy-up. And then the bulls started to follow through with momentum all the way up to that point. And even here towards the end of the day, I mean, we've got 2 minutes left in the market, and it's still just having a massive buy-up. I have no clue what that's about. I'll have to check the news on that later. But SPY, you can see, was doing the same thing. And so because of these random buy-up moments throughout the day, it kind of messed me up a little bit on some trading with Facebook. And so, but I'm still ending the day up in the green on Facebook, and I'm happy about that. But the trade that I really want to go through today, and you can see we've got a lot of green here. We've had a very good day today, but I'm only going to go through this one right here on RCL, because this was, in fact, a really good. And let me pull out my studies here. This is a really good example of the pullback trade. You can see we had a really nice buy up on RCL. Well, what did I do? This is part of the strategy here, and I'll try to map it out for you a little bit. But part of what I was looking at here, well, and we'll start with down here. Part of what I was looking at here is I always look up and over to the left, and wherever I see points of previous consolidation or previous areas of possible resistance, that's where I'll go ahead and take a stab at it. And I don't go in with full size. Why don't I go in with full size? Because I want to leave myself room for if this stock continues to go up to the next areas of resistance, which would have been up here, and I would want to be able to build a position all the way up to that point, so that when we do get the pullback, we could get a nice trade out of it. But I went ahead and got in here, and then it came down, and you can see right here, broke through VWAP, started to pull back up. I was looking for more of a move, but as it came back up, I went ahead and got out. And then later in the day, way later in the day, it had another move all the way up here, and I noticed that it had blown past this previous area of resistance, and it had come up to these areas back over here. So that's why I decided to go ahead and start averaging in, and I took just a small share size, and I noticed it was experiencing weakness. I was also watching the financial sector here on XLF at the same time, and I was watching for pullbacks there on the financial sector, because the travel industry, the cruise lines and the airlines seem to follow the financial sector. And when I saw weakness, compared weakness on the financial sector, and I saw weakness here on RCL, if we break it down to the 2-minute chart, you can see it just looked like it was kind of teetering around these levels, and it looked like we were going to get a good solid retest at least of the 20 moving average. And so I went ahead and I got in here and built a position, and as you can see, we took nice profits all the way down. I had a 100% win rate on RCL today because of this. And as it came up and retested these levels, I went ahead and started to get in just in case we were going to double top, but I got in lightly so I could have room to add as we went up. And I had built all the way up to a 400 share position all the way up here, and as we came down, I was able to get out with a nice little profit right there. I should have waited for it to go back to the 9 moving average, but then you can see we came back up, and I took another little scalp here, and I took another little scalp here. So like I said, guys, it was a really good day today overall. And like I said, if you come in the live stream, I'll try to be a little more detailed in my explanation of when I'm taking trades and how I'm taking entries. It's really, the funny thing about it is it's really not that difficult of a strategy. It's really not. It's just a very well thought out, very well calculated, using previous areas of, support and resistance, that sort of thing, and waiting for highly extended buy-ups. And one point that I made today was I even look for, and this probably isn't the best example because these buy-ups were kind of smaller on RCL, but a lot of times these stocks will get really bought up massively. They'll come massively off the 9 EMA. And I've always noticed that on the 2-minute chart, when stocks come too far off the 9 EMA, they typically return back to it. But again, RCL is probably not the best example of that today. Like I said, these were light buy-ups. It's not like I came in on RCL and they had these massive 2-minute buy candles. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow in the live stream. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do trade live right here on the channel Monday through Friday beginning around 9 a.m. All right, take care.